What's up, everyone, and welcome to episode 10, season 1, episode 10 of Director's Spotlight of Steven Spielberg. We are going through Spielberg's entire filmography, and we are at the 10th film, which is 1987's Empire of the Sun. I'm your host, Nate. I'm joined by my co-host, Alex.
Hey, what's up?
And Evan.
Hello.
So action movie guys kicked in right there. Action movie guys kicked in right there. So Alex and Evan are joining me now. Empire of the Sun. This is a first time watch for me. And Alex said last episode he never even heard of this movie.
No,
I know it's a first time watch for him.
Yeah.
Evan, you said you had seen this before.
Yes, I've seen it as when I was going through all the Christian Bale filmographies.
Okay, so you were doing an actor spotlight, and you said
I was doing that. Yeah, I was in college, and I was when he wasn't. It was right before American Psycho came out. So I've been a Christian Bale fan since Newsies and Swing Kids, and then I was renting them back in the day at Hollywood Video. All of his I was trying to get his import films that weren't coming over to America theaters and stuff like that. And so I picked this one up and watched it. I barely remembered it back then. So it's one of those first time watches again. Cause you did like a whole bunch in a row and you're like, it's just one of the films. Checked it off my list.
There you go. Okay, so a second time watch that felt like a first time and two first times. So this is going to be an interesting conversation then, because I have no idea we don't really talk too much offline for everybody watching, like about the movie. Like we just say we watched it. We usually don't say, it was pretty good. We have no idea. So that way it's fresh when we come and you get our take. We're hearing them for the first time as well. All right, let's get into the numbers, some fun facts, and then let's dive right in. Now, this movie had a $25 million budget. Box office total of 66.7, which is by far the lowest in a while from all the movies that we've been covering here. Since Sugarland Express, I think that's the lowest one, 66.7. This has a 77% critic score on Rotten Tomatoes, has a 90% audience score, which I'm a little surprised. I'm surprised the audience score is way higher than the critics on this movie now that I've seen it. But we'll talk about it. This did get nominated for 6 Academy Awards. No Best Picture, no Best Director, which are the ones we, always highlight. It won 0, did not win any, went 0 for 6 at the Academy Awards. Now, the fun facts for you. So Harold Becker, now this is interesting. Harold Becker and David Lean. David Lean, one of the most iconic directors of all time. You're talking about Lawrence of Arabia and Dr. Zhivago and Bridge on the River Kwai. He was originally set to direct this movie, and Spielberg was actually going to be a producer for David Lean directing it. However, Spielberg was attracted to directing the film because of a personal connection to Lean's films and World War II topics. So once David Lean dropped out, he ended up stepping in to direct, and he considers it to be his most profound work on the loss of innocence as far as that theme is concerned. That's directly from Spielberg. Empire of the Sun was given a limited release on December 11th, 1987, before being widely released on Christmas Day, 1987. The film earned $22.24 million in North America, $44.46 outside. So in the US, this did not do well. It didn't even make its budget in America. 44.4 overseas, accumulating a worldwide total of 66.7 million, earning more than its budget, but still being considered a box office disappointment by Steven Spielberg. Said, not happy with that total. It is what it is. And then the last one I got here, Ben Stiller, who's in the movie in a small role, he conceived the idea for the movie Tropic Thunder while acting in this movie for Steven Spielberg. So if you are, like me, a fan of Tropic Thunder, which I love that movie, that whole idea of this directing this big war epic movie and then kind of making it into a comedy, he came up with that when he was working on Empire Sun, which I thought was very interesting. I had no idea he was even in this before we sat down to watch it.
Yeah, I didn't even.
Yeah. Now there was a, I don't know if you guys watched it, or Evan, do you have this movie?
I bought it digitally, but it had the
extras.
hour and 30-minute documentary.
Okay. Did any of you guys get to? So I know Alex, you didn't because just because of timing. I did not, but on the disc it has a documentary, and then it has another documentary disc about Warner Bros. Evan, did you watch any of the supplemental stuff?
I watched part of the documentary, like the first, because it's like a whole movie documentary and go detail. And so it's kind of doing the guy who wrote it, because this movie is the semi-autobiography of the guy who wrote the book, and he was part of the film. I don't know if he officially got a producing credit or not, if I can off the top of my head, but he was involved. The only cool thing that really stood out to me that must have been hard to film for maybe extras and maybe some people who lived it, they rebuilt that. It's a little bit of a spoiler. The gate that you see in the beginning, driving through, the families driving through, and the like cutting off the people who are in the war part, and people who are the the Europeans who are trying to ignore everything.
Yep.
It's the same. They built it in the same spot of the real gate.
Wow.
The exact spot, the gate looked exactly the same. So they kind of hinted that some people, you could tell, they said kind of reaction. Yeah, seeing it.
I could see that happening. I wonder if they left it up after they left.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so.
Like, a big styrofoam gate that, because them props, they look real, and then you touch them and they're just like hollow.
I mean, that's crazy though, right? Like if you really think about it, if your family or whoever told you stories, and then you're an actor and you got to go on to set where your great grandparents or whatever lived through this, and like that's what I'm like, even with the Nazi films and like they have to portray all that shit. Imagine those actors that their parents came from that and they got to react. It's very emotional, I bet. Like
and the background actors, I can't think of the extras.
Yeah.
So they were in the town. He doesn't in like some movies they like get other extras if they need more. Steven Spielberg was just saying, I'm using everyone who I can in there. So people's families went through that gate and had that gate, and so
raw reaction.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so before we jump in now for this one, because and I'm going to do this with the lesser known. I feel like this is a lesser known Spielberg movie, and I feel pretty comfortable saying that, seeing the box office totals and knowing like Alex never heard of it. I have seen a million movies. I've never seen this movie, so I feel pretty comfortable saying there's probably a lot. I'm going to read a synopsis for this one. And I think anytime we do one that's like maybe a smaller one, just so people have an idea and we don't have to explain the whole plot.
Right.
So this movie is based on J.G. Ballard's autobiographical novel, to what Evan was saying. His name is Jim. That's what the J stands for. It tells the story of a boy, James Graham, whose privileged life is upturned by Japanese invasion of Shanghai on December 8th, 1941. He's separated from his parents, eventually captured and taken to the Suchow confinement camp next to a captured Chinese airfield. Amidst the sickness and food shortages in the camp, Jim attempts to reconstruct his former life, all while bringing spirit and dignity to those around him. So that's the plot or the basic premise of the film. Again, I'm very interested to see what you guys have to say on this one. Alex, you just finished it. I'm gonna let you go first. It's the freshest in you got the freshest opinion, because mine is old and Evan's is even older. So what is your review on this movie? What did you think?
Well, mine's is gonna be really short, but because I know you guys, Evan's more the historian, and then you're more of like the film knowledge. Like I'm just enjoying the journey as a film guy. I'm the dude that smokes weed while you guys are having fun. All right. So honestly, I think the movie's good. And I could totally see why it's not in a lot of people's high rankings in the Steven Spielberg movie. It's another movie just like Schindler's List, where it has a deep topic to it. If you look at it from whatever point of view. I enjoyed it for what it was. And it's shocking for me to say. Was it boring at times? Yes, it was. I was just like, oh my God. But it reminded me of another movie. And this is what I wanted to tell you guys. When I was watching it, I was like, man, it was kind of a little bit similar beat by beat. And Nate is going to go, oh my God, yeah, you're right. Just like Ip Man 1. Remember, he was super rich. He was teaching everybody, giving everyone food. And then I think it was Japanese or Korea invaded. And then he had to become poor. And then he had to live on how to become rice. Yeah, he had to fight for rice. So I mean, it was different. It was a martial arts movie, but it was kind of eerie similar to that movie.
Is it not the same time period?
I don't know. Maybe it is.
It's in the 40s. I think it's.
Yeah, I think it is.
I think
it's the same time period.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was eerie. Like, so for someone like me that watches, or me and Nate watches tons of action movies, I was just like, wait a minute. Oh, we need my man, Master It Man, to come out. And but it was kind of similar. But what I liked about this was Christian Bale was a dick as a kid. I mean, in the movie, Jim was a douche. He was treating them really bad. Like, he was like, your mom said you can't have biscuits, that scene in the beginning. And she was like, well, I told you, you do whatever I say. And then redemption came back when he was with no mom around and the lady slapped the shit out of him in front of, and you can do
taking the little table.
Taking the table for money or whatever. And she came back and she slapped the shit out of him. And I think he started to notice, like, that power is so gone now. Like, it's just,
that was my favorite scene that stood up. And that, as Nate said, that if Spielberg said this is the loss of innocence, that's where it happens. Like, that scene, and because there's nothing talked. I mean, and once there's no like words exchange, that slap just says a lot of words, and the look on Christian Bale's face, like, what just happened? It's a powerful scene,
and very powerful, because she saw him, and you're thinking, oh, she's gonna come over and be like, oh, are you okay? No, all the anger of him treating her like shit came through, and she slapped the bejesus out of him. I mean, he's a method actor, so we already know. He took that hit as a kid. We already know.
I don't know. He took the method actor at that time.
He like, slap me for real, lady. Because no, but and then moving down the road, you kind of see beat by beat like like what's gonna happen. The kid, he loses his parents and whatnot. And I kind of liked it. I thought it was pretty cool. Steven Spielberg. It's weird because the man is really like a Swiss Army knife when it comes to genres. Like, you go, okay, I don't think he's going to be able to do this type of movie. But then he pulls it off. I'm like, okay, after seeing Color Purple, right? And he had nothing, they didn't know much about the South. And that movie came out the way it did. Very impactful. Then watching this movie, and sitting back and I'm going, man, is this going to be like a boring ass movie that I'm just gonna be yawning and looking at my phone? No, I was really into it. The story for me was really draggy at times, but when he met John Malkovich's character, I felt like the movie started to pick up, and then he started to get intertwining with other characters, and the other characters started to fill in the gaps where I've kind of felt bored, and I was just like, oh, okay, now Jim is starting to become a head in this camp, and I kind of liked it. My only knock is I wanted to see the parents' side a little bit, just to see them fighting for where their son is. Like, we didn't get that. It's like the end, like they found them, in the hospital thing, and they come and find. I just wanted to see. I don't know if you guys know what I mean. Like, at least a scene or two from the other side, to see the mom and dad, like where they went after they got split. Like, I don't know what happened. I mean, I'm assuming, but they still look rich.
I think that could have really worked. The only thing is that I think it's because it's based on an autobiography. He wouldn't have known where his the whole story from his perspective.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think is there any other scene that's technically told without him in the scene?
No,
he's in everything.
Oh no, it's his whole perspective. Yeah. This whole movie is told from his perspective.
Jim's,
that was going to be my Jim. Yeah. Jim's perspective. I don't know if we would.
I can't even remember a scene that really plays out that he's not in.
No, he's in everything.
Everything. There's no scene where John Malkovich and Joey and Joe Pantoliano are like doing something on the side and he's not there. You know what I mean?
No.
There's scenes that happens that he's not in there, but he's adjacent. Like he's like listening to it happen. He might not be physically in the scene,
right?
But where he is in proximity of what's happening in that scene, if that makes sense.
No, you're right. I mean, that's my only knock. Like in story, I just wanted to see, because I'm like, man, I wanted to see the parents side a little bit. Like, where did they go? Are they super rich? Or, what are they fighting to get back their son? Like, I just wanted to see that. But the way it ended, I was like, okay, it's a very Hollywood ending for me. But I was just like, okay, it's cool. I liked it. But other than that, I think it was a great set. All in all, I enjoyed it for what it was. A little lengthy. At times it was kind of slow. But I think Steven Spielberg did a great job. There was one scene though, I will say, and I know you guys are gonna bring it up, when the guy's about to hit it up with his wife, and you saw the bombs and everything behind him. I thought that was a beautiful shot. I don't know. I'm not talking about the dudes having sex in front of the kid. I'm talking about when he stands up and you see, yes, at the window, and you see the silhouette of the bombs dropping behind him. And I was just like, yo, this is a really, I mean, it's a really bad shot, but it was really badass. I was like, oh, wow, that's imagination. I was like, that's pretty cool. But anyway, yeah, I thought it was a great, good film.
No. All right, cool. All right, so Evan, I'm gonna let you go last just because you're the more history guy out of the three of us. And I just feel like this movie is kind of in your wheelhouse as far as that is concerned. I did not really like this movie too much. I did not really like this movie too much. I was mad that I didn't like it because I agree with a lot of what you just said, Alex, but I feel like I agree with you, but I'm going the other way, is that it bothered me probably more than it even bothered you. So I'll say this. Let's give it its pros first. Beautiful. I agree with you. Extremely well shot at this point. I'm not expecting anything less than fantastic direction. And this has that. Spielberg delivers on the directing front. It looks great. I think the cast is great. Not only do you have young Christian Bale, you have, like I said, you got Joey Pants in here, Joe Pantoliano, you got John Malkovich, and then like a lot of character actors that like I've seen and stuff, but I couldn't tell you all their names off the top of my head. And then Ben Stiller in that small role, he's in there too. But good, very good acting, very well shot. All the staging is great. My problem with this movie, and I couldn't put my finger on it until after when I went to look up the fun facts. And I didn't share it in the fun facts, but there was one thing that someone said that I said, I think that's why I didn't connect. David Lean, the original director who was going to make the movie, ultimately dropped out because he said that it felt more like filming a diary rather than a narrative movie. And I 1,000,000% agree with that. There's not really a story here. This is not a story. You're not given any background into really what's going on there. They kind of just drop you in. There's little things here and there, like it's an occupation. Japan is coming in. It's a war. And, you get Christian Bale, like that scene where they're going to that mansion early on and there's like a party and he overhears the adults talking about, but that's kind of all you get, right? Alex, and where I agree with you is the whole thing of like, I wish they would have shown the parents. I just wish this had a narrative driven movie where there was that sort of thing. More drama. Like for something that should have been super dramatic, I didn't feel like it was very super dramatic. And maybe it's me, I don't know, but I did not connect the way I might have if this movie was told in a different way, if that makes sense.
It does make sense.
Yeah, I think just sort of following this kid around for 2.5 hours and just getting everything from his perspective, it didn't really fully work for me. Again, I think it's well made. The score is great. John Williams' score, fantastic. Like, I feel like I should like it. It's one of those movies that I feel like I should like, but it just did not connect for me. I was constantly checking the time. I was like, this movie I feel like I've been watching this for 4 hours and it was only like 90 minutes. And I was like, oh my gosh. I do get the whole thing of like, trying to with him, like his briefcase, for example, that's full of all his stuff. Excuse me, that reminds him of like before this, right? And trying to hold on to that while dealing with all this stuff. I don't know. It didn't hit for me the way I thought it would. A movie like Schindler's List, which it's only similar in that it's set during World War II.
Yeah.
As far as World War II movies go, from Spielberg, you have this, you have Schindler's List, and then Saving Private Ryan, right?
In 1941.
1941, but like not really. It's a comedy, so I'm talking like.
Well, I know. I was just saying.
This is the worst or my least favorite of the three. And we haven't gotten to those yet, but I know I've seen them, and I know I like them better than this. And I don't know. And Schindler's List is they're all true stories, but that one is like about a guy. This one's about a specific person. I just feel like that movie does it much better, much more effective. And, it's a few years later. He's even better at his craft, and it's a more personal story. Here, it definitely felt like you were just, again, like watching someone's diary entries play out is a very accurate description of how this movie felt to me. And then I went to the thing and I saw this guy, and basically like if he wrote this thing down and then Spielberg just filmed that, right? Like, oh, let's do that, recreate that scene. But I don't know. None of it held a lot of weight for me. I thought Malkovich's character, while I think he's a great actor, I didn't really understand his motivation a lot of the time. And neither would that kid, I guess. So in that regard, it's probably effective, but I don't know. It just didn't really work for me. So I'm kind of torn because there are things I like visually. Also, there's no action in this movie. And I know it's not an action movie per se, but there's very little where there could have been more. You know what I mean? And I don't know. And certain things I feel like that were supposed to hit. For example, where the Chinese kid comes back at the end, or the Japanese guy that the one with the what is
his
that,
friend
or a pear or whatever.
Yeah, with the mango.
And they shoot him. And I'm like, I feel like that should have had more of an impact. And I was just like, oh, well, there he goes. He died. And the lady, remember they're she's laying in the field and they're talking, and then you have, or even they have like the atomic bomb goes off and he thinks her, spirit went into heaven or whatever it was. And all of that stuff did not hit because I don't think you spend enough time with anyone else to really feel the weight. So that's just my take. I think it's a well-made movie, very well directed, well acted, great score on a technical level, production fantastic, but as a story and as a movie, it didn't really hit for me. So I'm surprised. I thought I was going to really love this movie going in, and maybe that's part of it too. I had high expectations. I was like, oh, this looks awesome. Empire of the Sun, Spielberg, World War II. This is going to be great. And then I was like, this is not great.
I mean, I see what you mean. I see what you mean, because there was one point in the movie that I thought is going to be tensions were going to be high, and then it just dropped off. And it was the scene at the party in the beginning where he goes over the hill and you see all the Japanese guys there chilling, and I went, oh shit, they're going to invade the party and shoot everybody, and they did it. And I was like, oh, that's kind of whack. Because I really went, oh, he's done. Like, I thought he was going to witness all of them running over him to kill the party and his parents, and it was just a lame part of the.
Yeah.
I was like,
so I don't know. It's.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
I'm interested to hear what Evan has to say. Again, and this is why I think after the fact, when I went to get all the stats, it's like 90% audience. Like, the audiences love this movie like that. I was surprised. But again, that's just me kind of putting in my take on it, on what other people should think. Obviously, I could be I'm probably in the minority here. But Evan, what did you think? And person now on your first watch.
Can I ask you a question before I go?
Yeah, of course.
Because what did you think as Christian Bale as a kid actor? Did he drive you crazy? Because I know you don't like kid actors.
Yeah, I tend to. They get on my nerves.
Yeah. So I just wanted to know, how did he hold up?
I think you could already tell that he was going to be a great actor when he got older in this movie. Honestly, like he's like Alex said, he's a brat, but he's supposed to be in the beginning, right? So he does that well, and the time, like even the scene, to me, the scene where it really you're like, this kid's gonna be really good. Like when he first meets Malkovich and Pensinano and that whole thing, they take him to the boat. And he's talking and talking and talking and talking. He won't shut up. And he's telling him all this stuff. He's like, you can meet my parents. And then he's cooking the rice. And he's looking at that rice like, oh my gosh, I want to eat that rice. Like, I'm hungry. You know what I mean? And I feel like that whole scene really showed this kid can act. And then the rest of the movie, I thought he was a great kid actor. And I think there are a number of kid actors that are great. It's just in general, they're annoying. But I thought he was great. So yeah, I'd lump him right in with the adult performances. Like I thought he was terrific in the movie.
Yeah, he is good. I mean, he took a slap from an adult lady. So that means you're going to be an Oscar award-winning actor if you could take a hit like that. So
yeah, exactly.
I'm ready for Evan's history lesson.
I'm going to be honest. My history, I'm an American history historian, especially the 1700s. So that's, or Disney. So I don't study this as much, but how do I want to say this? I think this movie fails in a sense as a historical film of giving context for future viewings. In a sense of that, I had to look up a lot of things for a movie to understand what was truly happening at this time, because I think it was a diary. It's going for an autistic thing. And I did look up that book that this movie is based off was a #1 seller at that time. It is not a popular book today. Like most, I never heard of it before unless you're like in that probably field, if you're studying that kind of history. But it's not like one of those books that are like, you know, like a lot of people who study World War II, they've read Flags of Our Father. Like that's a book that is still read today and people still constantly talk about that movie that movie's based off of. And I think that's a key point because I think Spielberg, because of the diary, he was a little too true to the narrative that was decided to not bring us in as people from outside that world. Like I had a hard time figuring out did I miss the timestamps of what year things were happening? Like, because
they never showed it.
No, I had no idea.
Yeah. And okay, you said when the atomic bomb dropped and the sky turns that, what gave you that clue in the movie? Did I miss that it was the atomic bomb from the movie?
I didn't even know until Nate said it. I thought it was a white light.
Okay.
I thought he died. I thought he died.
Okay. So that's what
I thought the kid died. Yeah. I was like, shit. I was like, how did he die?
I'm trying to, that's why I'm asking Nate, what in the movie gave you that?
I nothing. I assumed that's what it was because I'm like, it's Japanese, there's World War.
Yeah.
And they're not in Japan, so it would have been far off. So I was like, that must be, because there's no way this whole movie's serious and it's actually her soul, like or aliens. Yeah. So I guessed.
I didn't know if he was, because my initial reaction was, he's now hallucinating. He's at the end of his life. He's now seen. Yes. Yeah. I think he's about to die.
Yeah.
And then I was like, wait a minute, hold up. Because when he starts to go, what was that? It's the atomic, but I'm just saying that's to my point that if you don't know this history and you don't know the context of where it is, it gives you no clues of how to keep this narrative going.
Yeah.
Like I could see like my son, if I just showed him this movie, just showed it to him, like I don't know what he's going to think of half the stuff that's happening. Like if speaking of Ip Man walked you through that time. They're letting you know, they're telling you a narrative. I think for me, that's the biggest issue of this movie is I don't know where I am in time. I get lost in myself. And it's playing a big part. It's either, so it's that, it was a weird thing because there's at times that Steven Spielberg makes you feel very sentimental. Like when he salutes the pilots, like that music and you're saluting. I'm like, what am I watching? Are those the bad guys? Are those
they are
like the Chinese,
Japanese pilots?
He loves he likes planes.
He just likes pilots. Yeah. But what I'm saying, it just feels at time you're like, I don't know how to feel during this moment because aren't those the ones in but I think that goes to what the story is trying to do. The confusion of this kid, loss of innocence. What do you do next and stuff like that. I think while you're watching it, you're lost. But when you go back and think about it, you go, oh, okay, I get it. Okay, that's what he's doing. Like hearing you guys talk about it, I'm like, oh, okay, I'm putting more pieces together. I don't think the movie's doing that. So I think that's very hard to do that. Where I think when this movie came out with the book being out there and maybe these topics were closer because it's 80. So you still have people who fought in the war still alive. You still have that conversations that are happening at that time. I think it's stuck in that when it was released, if that makes sense. It's hard to hold up unless you're a historian and you like that time period and you're watching all the World War II movies and you know exactly all the sides. You're not just knowing what Germany's doing, you know what Japan's doing, you know what all the countries are doing. It fits well. But I say the acting was great. I love John Malkovich in this movie. as an actor because he wasn't John Malkovich. If you know what I mean? Like his later movies, John Malkovich is John Malkovich. I know what I'm going to get. I was a little surprised with this. It was so nice and refreshing. You're like going, oh, this is before he's John Malkovich. And it was nice that I do say we don't know. Like all the adults, we never get reasons for their actions, truly, because we're watching from the kids' perspective. So I get where Steven Spielberg's coming from as trying to tell that story. But it seems weird. Like when, like you talk about like the two adults about to have sex in front of the kid and they don't like, why do I need that? Like, why couldn't they just be sleeping and I still get the beautiful shot? Like it just, because we don't know their relationship. They look dead and sick. And I'm like, oh, dude, she looks dead. Like, what are you doing? Like, or is this like, this doesn't feel right. So, it was very hard for me while watching. I didn't know what to do with my emotions, where I feel Steven Spielberg, especially with John Williams' music, they're always guiding you on how you're supposed to feel. And I felt this was a little, I'm feeling happy watching bad guys be saluted. I'm feeling kind of weird about this. And then the bomb goes off. Like, I just didn't know what to do with it. Yeah. But I think Christian Bale holds his own. You watch it, you're like going this. I do notice that he's wearing a freaking wig. I don't know if you felt that way. Like his hair changes drastically in that hair wig does not. I never believed that was his hair. And I just was bugging me. But like they just didn't, like when they were walking and leaving the camp and they're walking, like I'm like, what's going on? Like I'm asking so many questions for this movie, and it does feel long, but I think it's because I'm asking so many questions. Like I'm never feeling comfortable where I am in this storyline because I think Nate points to it. The narrative is not strong in it to keep you in it. And it's hard because when Steven Spielberg is directing a movie, it looks so good. Like usually when, like you should be liking this movie, and John Williams' music, I think Nate said it, it's super good. Like you can't knock those things. The acting, super good. Like it's very hard because you're like going, I don't like this film, but it's super good.
Like I'm supposed to, but I just don't. I look at it like this. Like imagine, because you know me, I'm fat and I love food. Imagine they bring you like a beautiful pizza. Like this is the best looking pizza, picture perfect, what you imagine in your head with whatever toppings you love, and then you go to bite it and it's like cold and has no flavor. It looks great. I should like pizza, but this pizza, gross. I'm not saying this movie's terrible. What I'm saying is it's lacking. Like, and I feel like I'm supposed to really be enjoying this, but I can't connect. I think it's because of the way the story's told. The story. Yeah. I don't think it really even has a story. It's just like events that happen to somebody. Mm-hmm. It's not really a story.
But that could be done if it's done right. Inside Lewis Davis. I don't know if you've seen that movie.
Oh yeah, the Coen Brothers movie.
Coen Brothers. Yeah. That movie, there's no story. Things just happen to him, but it holds your attention and it does a better job.
Because he's a more interesting character. Like he's just a little kid. Like
I think
a little kid.
Yeah.
I personally believe, I think the problem that I had with the movie was I did not know his age. I don't know, like he was the same. Again, I know Christian Bale is a great actor and kid actor, whatever. But what I mean is they should have did the whole, like they did in Color Purple. The older he got, they added another kid that played Jim. So we know he got a little bit older. The problem for me was he was the same person. I mean, the same kid. And then they put, I mean, like Evan said, they put the wig on him. But I'm like, who gives a shit? Because he still looked in the beginning of the movie.
I think it's a 2-year period. It's a 1.5 year period.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't. But that's
the
what
mom,
I'm saying.
The mom and dad, when they saw him in the hospital, they looked aged.
Look old. Yeah, they looked way older.
He forgot about how his parents looked and stuff. I mean, you forget in 1 year.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's my point.
To be more than a year. It had to be more than a year or two,
I'm gonna
bro.
look it up.
It had to be like decades.
This is what I did. I didn't look that one up. But that's what Nate is doing now. Looking it up is what I spent during the movie because I kept asking questions like, what's happening? And this is me not wanting to be on my phone. Like, you know what I mean?
No, I get what you're saying, but you're right. They didn't direct. That's what I'm saying. Like, my problem was that. Like, I would have preferred having another kid, him getting older, to see that he grew. Like, he's growing with the character. We didn't get that. It was Christian Bale throughout the whole movie.
Or we needed more timestamps. We needed more things to do. We needed to overhear like him learning Japanese. And then
that's true.
Or someone who spelled Japanese. And then we overhear conversations of like giving us some concrete timelines of that we could put ourselves in place in the time of the movie. Something that needed to connect us to the spacing. Because like Color Purple, we knew exactly times
where they were at. Yeah. Well, every character was older.
So the real character, the guy this is all based off of.
Okay.
And if they're going for accuracy, which it seems like they were, he was in that concentration camp thing for 3 years. He went in at age 12 and didn't get out till he was 15. So Christian Bale did not go from 12 to, he looked 11 the whole time.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Like, he didn't age.
They should have picked a different kid for this second half.
Each year they could have had a different kid. I mean, you could have did a quick little him gradually getting older.
Because you know what? I know kids, and you guys have kids, and you know it's harder to tell in real time. But I bet you if you look at a picture of them when they're
you can see them
11 and 14, they look
that different. Well, that's a major match. So having kids, you have like 0 to 1 is amazing. Like all that's like you get 2 to 2. I feel like 2 to 3 kind of stand still. Like they're learning,
the same.
But 3 to 4, 4 to 5, whole different kids.
Yeah.
Then you have like another standstill between 7 and 9, where like unless they like getting really taller.
Yeah.
But they're like but then 10 to 11, 11 to 12, 12 to 13. Like you have different kids.
Yeah.
Like
you need to check their DNA. Are you mine? But at the end of the day, I agree. Like Nate said, so if this was a 3-year period, they should have had Christian Bale change. Year 14 would have been another actor than 15, and then because then it would have made sense when the parents see him. They would have not known who he was. And you understand what I mean? Like that whole like. Yes. I don't know. Honestly, I see now the more I'm thinking about it, I'm going to start hating the damn movie. But
see, but he just watched it. That's the same thing that Nate and I've done. Like, we've had a couple of weeks to process.
I've had to think about this for like 9 days already. And I'm like, and it never changed. Like it never got worse or better. Sometimes you watch a movie and then over time you're like, you know what? Actually, there was things I liked. But also it didn't get worse in my head.
I was gonna say I get what Steven Spielberg is doing, because if you think about it, like time probably seems numbing, still for them. Like I get this like creative storytelling that he's trying to do. I think it doesn't work in that narrative for us in this movie. Yeah. I don't think Spielberg was technically the right person, because he is such a narrative-driven director. Like he's going, and I know he's trying to be creative. And David Lean, as based on what Nate said, saw the writing on the wall. This is not for a movie. Yeah. Something needs to change, and I think we see this. This is probably going to be a driving factor for some later that I thought, as I was talking, probably why some other movies that kind of do something like this gets a little bit more creative on how to do it, because he realizes some mistakes he did with this.
I'll even say this, and if you haven't seen, I mean, I know you have because you just said you did the filmography. Bale did another one as an adult called Rescue Dawn, which is infinitely more interesting movie than this one, where he plays a soldier who gets stuck in a one of these like military prison camps, and it is Werner Herzog directs it. It is the same concept. It's a guy. It's he's like in every scene of the movie, but the way it's executed is more. It's more. You're way more into it. Like what's happening. Yeah. It's harder to watch. This should have been harder to watch than it was. And I'm being honest. Like I did not find this overly harrowing or anything like that. I don't know. I don't know. But it seems like we're all somewhat in agreement that on a technical level, this is a fantastic movie. On a narrative level, maybe less so. And I do think as far as an audience goes, I don't think like people who love Spielberg all love this movie. I think people who love World War II movies probably love this movie. Like, I think it fits right in.
Yeah.
If you're super into those type of movies, I don't think you will dislike this movie. You might enjoy it. All right. With that said, let's wrap this thing up. Let's give some scores. Alex, what did you score this movie?
It's interesting. I enjoyed it for what it was. So I gave it a 6 out of 10. Okay. With all the flaws that it has, I don't think it's that bad. I mean, I don't think it's that horrible. I just think it's just a little certain elements that they could have fixed. I think it would have been a really good movie. So I gave it a 6.
No, I agree with that. And I didn't, we're close. I had a 5 out of 10.
Okay.
And that's mostly because I think, again, such great technical stuff. I don't think it's a bad film. I just didn't really like it. You know what I mean? Like, I just couldn't connect. Maybe someone else could and they'll love it. So 6 for you, 5 for me. Evan, what did you give it?
I'm in the same route, but when I wrote it down, I wrote it as a 7. I thought that because I think the acting is so well. Christian Bale, I think, as well. And that scene, it goes back to that slap. Yeah. That scene has stuck with me in how it's no words. I think the movie is powerful enough to see once. I don't think, but I ended up on a 7.
Wow.
Nice. Okay, so 5, 6, 7. But we all had similar sentiments about the film. If you've never seen it, hey, don't take our word for it. Check it out, watch it, see if you like it. I don't know. And if you have seen it, let us know in the comments below. So, of course, as always, if you're not already, please consider subscribing to the channel. Hit the thumbs up if you're enjoying the Director Spotlight videos and leave us a comment. Do you like Empire of the Sun? Are you one of the 90% of the audience who seems to like this movie? Or are you with me in the 10% that I was like, I don't love this movie that much? I want to know down below. Coming up next is we're going from one of his lowest box office totals to another juggernaut, back to a big time franchise. Our next episode will be on Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. So we will be talking the last indie movie for a little while, for 19 years or something like that.
Yeah.
So we'll be wrapping up that original sort of trilogy on our next one. Yes. Anyway, that's the show. Thank you as always for watching. Be awesome to each other and geek out.